Well, hello everyone. Good morning and welcome to Live at the Waterhole. It is wonderful to be back with you. I'm looking forward to the week ahead and everything that we're going to see here. My name is Amy and I'll be with you for the show today until Friday. So we've got 5 whole days together, and here we are at Timber Plains in Zimbabwe with some hippos that are snoozing away, let's say. A little bit of movement here or there, but for the most part relaxing into the middle of the day. Now remember everybody that this is a live and interactive show, so please do chat to me. It would be wonderful to hear from you wherever you may be in the world. You can send through any comments and questions that you may have, anything you'd like to know, any info you'd like to share with me. And as we go along and we see different things, there may be different questions or maybe some comments that you may have. And like I say, it's always nice to hear from you, and we get to have some interesting chats along the way too. It seems like this is a favorite spot for the hippos here at Timber Plains. I saw them here on Saturday in I think a very similar place, and hippos will often do that. They'll have a spot that they like to hang out in and coming back regularly to that place. I think it's a nice sort of little bit of an alcove here where they can get out of the stream of water, and it's nice and still but also sloped so that they can rest their heads up and still keep some of their bodies in the water. Bantera, yes, happy Monday to you as well. Start of a new week, and for many people heading into, possibly for some of you, maybe your last week of work, or heading into the last 2 weeks before sort of the end of year break. So I think everything is sort of winding down in some sense. I know a lot of offices and businesses having their end of year functions and things like that, so well, at least in South Africa, but I know even overseas it is still sort of the end of the year or seasonal parties that may happen. So it's an exciting time, lots of fun. These hippos though, I don't think they have an end of year function. I think they keep going, doing their thing and entertaining us. Although I do think that they would look quite cute with a Santa hat or some reindeer horns on top of their head. Never tried it. I don't think I'll ever get the opportunity to. Claire, hello, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us today. It's nice to hear from you. Seems like the hippos are moving around a little bit more, maybe a few more of them that are coming to this spot actually. And every now and again I do also see, I think it's the carmine bee-eaters that are flying past. We know that this is a place where we've had some lovely sightings of them. They all are nesting in the bank, which is just up to the left hand side of the screen. And so there's a lot of movement to and from those holes that they have in the riverbank. All right, well, from these hippos, we're going to head up to Kenya and see what's happening at Tortillas Camp. Oh, lovely. We've got a troop of baboons here. Oh, and there's some play happening there. A little one with an older cousin, maybe. It's always nice to see the playfulness between them. Hi Brent, thank you for your question. You want to know, why do male baboons have such massive canines compared to the females? So that is very true. If you do ever have the chance to see close up of one of the sort of bigger dominant males of a troop, they really do have huge canines, almost similar to what you would see on one of the larger cat species. But it's all to do with dominance and intimidation of rivals, whereas the females don't have to do that in the same way. So it's not necessarily actually anything to do with catching prey, although they are omnivores, so they can take other smaller mammals if they wanted to, or the opportunity is there. But most of the time we see them foraging around, eating a lot of bugs and seeds. But those canines are actually there to, like I say, intimidate rivals for males when it comes to determining their hierarchy and their mating rights with females and things like that. So that is why their canines are significantly larger than females, and also of course to defend or attack other males in fights when they need to use it. So not only just for show, but they can actually use them, but also for defense, not only against other baboons but also predators. For example, something like probably leopards would be a common predator for them, being able to also climb trees and things like that with ease makes them a target that they can also defend, not only themselves but the females and the rest of the troop, their offspring as well. Claire, baboons definitely have cute babies, especially when they're still quite black in color with the very pink ears. We saw one or two of them that were hopping around earlier. It does seem like the troop is slowly making their way away from the waterhole, and that's very much part of their routine. In the day, they will roost in a tree. At night, usually quite a big tree, and then start to forage and head past a place like a waterhole, and then continue as they head off to look for food. All right, we're going to head over to Tembe. Well, it's always lovely to pop over here to Tembe Elephant Park, where there are almost always elephants, and I can see some in the shade there, some doing some sand blasting, and one doing a little bit of splashing. So much water around now, lots of muddy patches. The elephants are loving it, and it is so pretty as well. I think this one may want the other one to move. I don't know if there's space for both of them. You can see those two males lifting their trunks, maybe smelling into each other's mouths. And it's not so much affection as it is communication between the two, especially when it comes to males like that. It may not be aggressive at this moment, but there's definitely communication happening there through not only tactile but also scent as well. You can see the one moving away there now, but it's more just a hello, finding out a little bit more info, maybe a bit of a greeting. But it's all, I mean, there's a smaller one having a little bit of a push around there. I mean, of course, not even close to being as big and strong as the other, but a little bit of a hello and testing one's strength a little bit with the older one there. Looks like there's a piggy in the middle here with this one. It looked like it wanted to actually sit down in the mud. It looks like it's being pushed around left and right. It's quite entertaining. But there's also definitely a sense of play and fun. Oh wow, so you can see that's actually the littlest one of the three, trying to show some dominance there, and just in a position where it can mount the one because it's lower down, whereas normally if they're on the same level it wouldn't be so possible for it to be able to do that. So it's just taking its chance, even though it's a lot smaller than the one that's below it. Sort of an instinctual opportunity to do that, but also boys just having some fun between them, tussling about, testing each other's strength. And elephants are social animals. They enjoy spending time with each other, and this is often what young male elephants will do. And this one, oh, it's trying to slide down, maybe loosen up some mud. Spencer, no, I would say not all herbivores are necessarily social animals. So I think the first thing that comes to mind is some of the smaller antelope species that are actually, for the most part, solitary or pair off in a monogamous pair, but they're not large sort of group associated animals. So we wouldn't then deem them as being sociable in terms of gathering in groups. Also, for example, generally speaking, if you look at the two rhinoceros species that we get in southern Africa, the black and the white, the black being supposedly more solitary, and most of the time that is the case in comparison to the white rhino that can be quite gregarious. So, but it has been, and I've seen it myself, groups of black rhinos together actually. But for the most part, when you see them, it's more likely for them to be on their own or just mother and calf than in comparison to where white rhinos are given the opportunity to be higher in number. We do often see groups that can sort of congregate together rather than just one or two alone. Lady, hello, thank you so much. It is really great to be here with you all for the next few days as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the last few waterhole shows for me for the year. I'm glad that I do have the next few days with you all. Looks like this is really a popular little wallow. You can see that bigger bull now pushing the smaller one out of the way. And he's already had a bit of a splash somewhere. almost using that other elephant as a bit of a rubbing post there behind the ear. Oh, there we go. Clearly this is the place to be. I wonder if we'll see it try and sit down at all. That's always very entertaining. Made in Chelsea, a very interesting question you have there regarding if elephants in different areas have unique dialects or calls that differ from other populations. So in my experience of different elephant groups in completely different parts of Africa, to me, of course, I think most people would agree that they sound the same in terms of the types of communication they use and that sort of low rumble or trumpet or squeak that we hear from them, depending on their age and what they're trying to communicate. But I do think that each family group can differentiate their matriarch's communication or within their family's communication, like who is speaking as an individual in comparison to another family that they may be able to hear, but they know they're not being spoken to, if I could put it that way. There may be slight differences in dialect, as you say, in terms of how communication is used and what it means for that specific population, but I think it varies as well from individual family members and the way the matriarch communicates between each family group, as well as within the greater population that is split geographically across Africa. So it's a very interesting one, and I do think that more research is being done and there's more discoveries about elephant communication that are being made. And I know the whole sort of names for elephants in terms of the way the group communicates with each other on an individual basis is something that was quite recently discovered and scientifically recorded, which is very cool to understand more about how these amazing animals do their thing out in the wild.
Oh, yes, there's a leopard. I've got a leopard here. My name is Cedric, and behind the camera with me we've got Muscles and Paw. Well, it is Feline Friday.
At Wild Earth, we believe every story has the power to create change. That's why we've launched the Wild Earth Impact Foundation, a non-profit dedicated to conservation and social impact. By showcasing conservation stories, we can change lives, protect nature, and empower communities. We have partnered with Empowers Africa to accept tax-deductible donations from US donors. Your donation will help fund critical programs that support our mission. Join us and be part of the change. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature, live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
We are here with a male leopard.
At Lentor, they've got a beautiful eye level, ground level hide. And I can just imagine some beautiful photographs can be taken of these birds with the reflection at that sort of ground level. Well, we've had to come back over here to Tortillas, and we have, it looks like, I assume, a different baboon troop that's coming through here now. Quite a large male there at the back. You can see how much bigger he stands, head and shoulders above the others. There's one of those cute babies with the very pink ears there on mom's chest. You can see how the sun is sunlight's going through those ears, showing how pink they are. clearly that little one doesn't want to be alone, sitting now on top of the back of that other one. Brent, yeah, so it's an interesting one when it comes to baboons, in terms of being pests and how, if they are controlled by neighboring farms or that sort of thing. Here in Kenya, I'm assuming, although there are exceptions and there are areas where fences are used and things like that, but for the most part it's a completely open system. So there are various management techniques that are being tested and employed by the farming or local community, at least within whether it's the Maasai people or other private landowners in the area. But I do think that when it comes to baboons, of course the lodges have their own management in terms of that as well, but it's very important that the learnt behavior of and association of human and food is not created, because once it is created, that association is almost impossible to break, and so that is when they become pest-like. But actually, if you are able to keep that association away and manage your waste, I think is probably one of the biggest things that they don't associate with, like leftover food and things like that they can find in rubbish bins, and that's all disposed of without them being able to realize or know or become aware of the fact that it's present, or being shown that they are not welcome in that way, and making sure that there's a boundary in place and how, and there's various management techniques to do that. But yeah, there's different ways, and people decide on management, wildlife reserve management teams decide on different ways to best do that. But as I say, the best is to not have that association develop in the first place, keeping things as wild as possible. But yes, there might be in certain places, I know, like within the Kruger Park, for example, it's not so, I must say, baboons can be a problem, but I would say more the vervet monkeys that come and can cause some chaos every now and again. But they do sometimes use catties to try and deter them. There can be things like rubber bullets that are also used to try and get them to leave an area. And then in some places, if a troop has become actually dangerous and putting whether it's livestock or human life in potential danger, then they can also choose to euthanize the troop or even relocate sometimes. So there's various management options depending on what the reserve team decides to be the best for that particular area. And of course, every set of circumstances is different. Alright, well, it looks like these baboons are moving off. Let's head over to Elephant Pan in Botswana. Ah, an elephant at Elephant Pan. How appropriate. And this is a beautiful bull, my goodness me. And just look how thick those tusks are. Wow, they're not the longest, but they are very, very thick indeed. You can just get this sense of relaxedness, I feel, from this boy. Absolutely no rush in the world. Oh, don't you just love those sounds? Can just hear as that water sort of deposited into the mouth. There's like a bit of an echo just because of the size of the cavity that it's being dropped into. And how nice for him to have the trough to himself. Sometimes there can be so many elephants here. Ooh, lovely. Let's head back over to a bird of prey at Tortolas. Oh, beautiful. Now, we had a bird of prey, I think it was here as well on Saturday, and it was a steppe eagle. We could see how that gape extended past the eye, and I believe that this is one again, although I haven't clearly seen the side of the face, but it definitely is a possibility, and it could very well be the same one, because they do, once they have arrived for their time of migration, they will sort of stick around in an area. Also very cautious when it's there. I mean, a bird of prey is not beyond being preyed upon itself, so also aware, checking for any crocs, I would think, would be the main worry here. I'm loving this. Look at this, a little bit of a water bath. Definitely not something we see every day, so it's always special to have a bird of prey like this at the water. And what it will do, which is what it's doing currently, is actually puff out those feathers, ruffle them up quite a bit, so that that water can help clean and sort of get in all over, rather than just, because they waterproof themselves when they preen and apply oil to their feathers, so they actually make themselves pretty much waterproof on the outside. So in order to really help have a good wash, as it were, they need to puff out those feathers, and then what it'll do is likely to go perch somewhere and then start that whole preening process and get itself all ready for flight once again. So Vernon, I would say the first bird species that comes to mind, or group of birds that come to mind, that are almost impossible to separate without hearing their calls are nightjars. Definitely one of the more difficult ones to tell apart. Their calls are all very different from one another, so that's very helpful when you hear that. There are a few little tricks if you see them in flight, different stripe pattern on the wings and the extension of how far, the white on the tips and that sort of thing. But generally speaking, if you just see them in the road, and because they're nighttime birds, it just adds that extra level of difficulty. And then another bird that we see in the day but can also be very difficult to tell apart are cisticulars. So again, their call is what really helps to confirm sightings of birds like that. Wow, that is a beautiful bird of prey. You can see it's looking a little bit odd here on the ground now, sort of now fluffing itself out, trying to get rid of all that excess water. So Hans, when birds are drinking, they generally scoop up the water with their beak, from what I've seen. Almost always I've seen them they put their beak in, and because that lower mandible is sort of a scoop shape, it's easy for them to just sort of scoop and then swallow, from what I've seen. I think it must be quite a hot day here at Tortilla's camp today. Well, from this lovely big eagle, we are going to head over to Aldonio to see who's arrived there for a drink. Fantastic, we have some giraffe here. How lovely is this? Always nice to see them arriving. The colors are so pretty here at Aldonio, and they are coming for some water. Wow, what a beautiful close-up at the side of this male giraffe. Such pretty pattern as well. The Maasai giraffe, which is the species that we're looking at here, does have quite a unique pattern. Very feathered like this throughout most of them. I have seen this pattern before on southern giraffe species in southern Africa, but it is you do find that it is different if you look generally of like a standard Maasai and a standard southern giraffe. This sort of pattern that we're looking at here is much more common in the Maasai than in the southern.
I'm Ralph, and I'm taking you to Sibuya Game Reserve, which is one of the only game reserves in southern Africa accessed only by boat. We'll stay at the luxury forest camp overlooking the Kariga River with an abundance of bird life and animals grazing on the opposite bank. Luxury tented suites set in a riverine forest offers the perfect place for privacy and comfort. Join me on Sibuya and let's experience it together.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Well, as these giraffes are finishing off their drink, let's see what's happening at Moela. Oh, this is very cool. Here we have some ostriches, and I think there's a mixture of male and female here. Now, it's a little bit tricky to tell. I don't know if some of them are actually young ones, which is a possibility as well. But sometimes they do form quite large groups, and it'll be interesting to see. Although these are just looking like adult male and females now, with the males being black in color and the females are more sort of grayish brown. Actually, looks like they're moving closer towards us, which is wonderful. Hans, yeah, it's an interesting one. I was actually, you won't believe it, I was just thinking about the whole thing about ostriches burying their heads. It is a myth. They do not do that to sort of stick their head away and then think that they are disappeared or out of view because they can't see anything. When they actually are trying to camouflage themselves or hide from predators, they'll actually go down completely, flattening themselves against the ground and trying to hide away or blend in or make themselves look like a rock or behind a bush or something like that. But the myth is sort of in existence because of the behavior of ostriches. Often around a nest they will have their head down and they'll rotate eggs and things like that, so there is that common look even when they're foraging of their head down sort of in the ground with their bodies completely in view, which does look a little bit odd if you don't know what's happening. Okay, well, from these ostriches, let's head back over to Otoño. Well, the giraffes have left, and here we have a beautiful elephant that's come for a drink. It's amazing how it's gotten a lot more overcast here from when we first arrived. There was a bit of blue sky around. You're just wasting water now, boy. Oh, there's a beautiful eland. Alright, well, from here at Oldonia, we're also going to stay in Kenya, but head over to Lentor. Well, we were mentioning vervet monkeys earlier, and here we have some. Definitely a female here. You can see her teats are quite swollen on her chest. I'm not sure, this might be her little one just to the left here, who's also having a drink. But I would actually think it might even have a smaller baby. I'm just not sure where it would be at the moment. This one on the left does seem to have a pink or red patch there. I don't know if that's also just a female with smaller teats, or if there is an injury there. Oh, it does look like maybe it's a little bit injured. It also seems to have a bit of a raw area on its tail. Monkeys do get into fights with each other, so can also happen like that sometimes. Now you can see that that's the big male of the group. He's got that very bright blue color underneath his tail there, and apparently that's very attractive to the female monkeys. From vervets to baboons. Well, you can see those backsides of those two, they are quite swollen, and when females are in heat like that, their backsides will swell. Apparently that's it's a physical indicator that they are in heat, and can then indicate to the male to attempt to mate. Well, some of the males, at least the ones that have the rights to do so, to mate with those females. Clearly someone is not very happy. This one's definitely coming to investigate the come up, but there's also a bit of a family disagreement happening in the back there. And there's a few things that can cause that sort of loud screeching. It's most likely some discipline going on, and it could be that maybe one of the younger males was getting too close to one of the females in heat, and the older males are going after that one, or one specific male chased after and had a bit of a go at them to teach them a lesson. You could also have sometimes mom giving some discipline to the younger ones. So it really does depend. But you can see, oh, that is a big boy walking across there now. Actually, two of them. Can see a tiny little one there clutching onto mom, doing some suckling. Very much exactly the same as that vervet. big yawn. Monkey in terms of where the mammary glands are and the placement of the baby. And it looks like a little family sitting here with mom and dad and the little one. It's a very newborn baby when they're still black furred like that with the very pink ears. Of course, the size plays a role too. They are under 8 weeks, but this one looks very, like, I would say less than a month at least. I do love how they sit and look around, observe. People watching. Baboons are very good at that skill, I think. Ooh, made in Chelsea, the craziest baboon sighting. So there are some different ones. One of the craziest ones though was actually at Sandringham this year, where we had a lioness catch a baby baboon. We didn't see the kill happen, but it was a crazy sighting. We were just driving and we heard this baboon alarm call that was desperate. We were actually live. I think we were live when we found the lioness anyway, walking, carrying this limp baby baboon that had just been caught, and that was one of the craziest. And then I think the first crazy baboon sighting, it's actually quite sad. They're both actually quite sad, so I apologize for that. But I was on trail walking in the Kruger, and we were walking along the Sweeney River, and we came across a baboon that it looked like a very old baboon, although we don't know exactly, but it was very, very sick, and it was still alive, but it was just lying in the shade on the ground breathing, but its eyes were like glassed over. It had very, very shallow breaths. It wasn't really aware of us. I mean, we walked right up to have a look at it, so that was very sad, but also very unusual and something I'd never seen before. Maybe had something like TB or some sort of an illness. You could just see that something was wrong with its breathing, and it was extremely emaciated, but it was still alive. And the troop it obviously couldn't keep up with the group anymore, so that was another really interesting and, as you say, crazy sighting that I had on foot once.
Join me at Mabula Private Game Reserve from the 10th until the 15th of March 2026 for exclusive 5 nights for only 6 guests here in the natural, relaxed environment. Explore South Africa's finest reserve here in the Waterberg and enjoy the wildlife and the diverse landscape. Even a hyena coming into the action as well now. Oh my word! She's stalking the hyena now. Leopard, hyena, lion, all together in one shot. Oh! Woo! This is action-packed.
Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
If you love watching Wild Earth, here's a little tip. Become a member. You can gain access to the channel ad-free, you can rewind and re-watch sightings, and you can join our Tuesday live safaris. There's also behind the scenes videos, fireside chats, and every Safari Live episode, whenever you want it. It's just a better way to stay connected to nature.
There we have some mating. I thought it might happen. Although that female actually doesn't look too swollen on the backside. But sometimes the younger males will take advantage, even if she's maybe coming out of heat or going into earlier on, because otherwise they won't have a chance. Well, we are going to leave these baboons and head over to some eland at Oldonyo. can definitely hear the oxpeckers. And the sun is coming out a little bit. It's so interesting how the weather does change. And when we had the elephant here earlier, it was looking quite dark, like it might rain at any moment. But now that the eland are around, the sun has come out a little bit more. Granny Mango, hello. You want to know if eland are the most docile antelope. It's difficult to say definitely, Granny Mango, but they do have quite, I suppose in situations like this when we're looking at them, quite a docile nature. I must say, for me personally, one of the most docile antelopes that I've experienced, maybe because we see them a lot around the lodges or human camps out in the bush, is that of the bushbuck. Especially the females. They are so gentle and so quiet, but that's not to say that any antelope is just tame. Let's put it that way. They can be, if they feel threatened, they can be very not docile when they want to protect their young or themselves, or their females. Another one would be Nyala as well, that also can be very calm. Eland, I do find, although looking docile in this situation, they are not as relaxed when it comes to being near them, whether on a vehicle or on foot, and they are not animals that we find around human camps or lodges. They just haven't got that. They're also very large, which makes it a little bit difficult, and also the areas and sort of the habitats that they need to be in don't sort of dovetail with that of lodges and human camps and things like that, so they prefer to be a little bit further away. We have come over here to Tortoise Camp, everybody, where we've got some egrets and blacksmith lapwings. Looks like a little Namakwa dove there in the background, which is quite cool to see. It's got the black on the front of the face and neck. A little bit of a longer tail as well. Vernon in the wild. How do egrets manage to keep their feathers in such perfectly white condition? It's pretty impressive, I must say. I mean, being white out here in the bush is, I would say, definitely wouldn't be my first outfit choice if I went to work. It's definitely a color that is going to show up a lot of the dirt and the dust, and that is why we don't wear it on game drive generally, at least when you are the guide. But you are right, these birds, and actually there are others, whether it's the great, the intermediate, the little, the cattle egrets, they have the most beautiful white feathers. And the other day we actually had a peregrine falcon that took a cattle egret. Oh, here we are with a beautiful giraffe that is drinking at Founders. But I'll carry on with my conversation there over the white feathers, and we got to actually see those feathers up close at the kill site, and they are the most soft, beautiful white feathers. And Vernon, I think it's down to a lot of preening, a lot of hygiene, a lot of just looking after, and of course molting as well, the fact that feathers fall out and new ones come. And then they have water baths that also helps clean. They have the preening oil as well on the outside, which I think also helps with keeping feathers clean. So it's a very interesting one, but they do manage to do it. Wow, well, lovely to see that view here at Founders. It's always interesting, and a beautiful giraffe as well. Let's head over now to Oldonyo with some elephants. Well, there's always a constant flow here with Oldonyo, and we've got two elephants that have arrived, clearly one cooling off. Oh, we have some zebras arriving here too. Wow, well this is really so beautiful now with the zebra and the elephant, a little bit of a silhouette happening with the lighting, but also just the clouds and the sun coming through and the blue sky.
Let's go and take a look. See you out there.
The Wild Earth Impact Foundation is a non-profit that uses the power of wildlife storytelling as a force for good. We create sustainable development projects that showcase conservation stories, empower people, and inspire environmental action. As a registered South African PBO, you can make a tax-deductible donation to the Wild Earth Impact Foundation. To find out more, visit our website. Join our expert guides at dawn for a live, immersive safari as the bush comes to life.
Found ourselves a chameleon, and look how he's changed color.
Every sunrise brings new discoveries.
Pound for pound, a leopard is one of the strongest cats around.
Ask questions, share your thoughts, and connect with nature live and in real time.
Great excitement, great happiness.
Start your day with adventure.
Chidzana na tsima ra ntumbuluko.
How cool is this?
We do love a pig in mud, and they love it as well. Wow, how great is that? Well, one of the best things to do once you have gotten all muddy is to go and have a little bit of a rub and a scratch, and those rocks there are the favorites of some of the animals here, whether it be the warthogs or the rhinos. Some good exfoliation, you've got some texture there to be able to scratch a few itches. Alright, well, we are going to head to the Lowveld now and see what has arrived at Simbavati for the last few minutes of the show. Oh yay, we haven't had an elephant herd yet today, so I'm so glad that we get to finish off with a few here and a little one in between, which is very cute, on its way to join the family. Hans, I'm so glad that you enjoyed the show today. It was very relaxing. We had a wonderful time just enjoying the sights and sounds, and I'm really happy to be ending off with this herd of elephants here at Simbavati. It's warm today in the Lowveld, but it's definitely not exceptionally hot. I do think tomorrow we're going to have a lot more elephants around, at least in this area, reaching about 35 degrees or so. So summer's definitely going to be around for that. We'll have to see if it brings in any storms or anything like that. But thank you so much, everybody, for joining me here today. It has been a lovely, relaxing show, and it's been great to have you all on board. We will, of course, be back again tomorrow, and I'll be with you all the way until Friday. So do make sure you come back and join me again then. We are looking forward to see what pops out, and just having a lovely time with you all. Keep well, though, everybody, and enjoy the rest of your Monday, depending where you are in the world. And we'll see you then. Goodbye for now.